Life Audio.
Welcome to today's Crosswalk Devotional. We are so glad to have you listening with us here today. Today's topic is resting. We will return after this brief message from our sponsors. Are You Resting? Written by Aaron D. Anthony Brown. Read by Rochelle Albert. In vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat, for he grants sleep to those he loves. Psalm 127:2. Do you remember the last time you had a good night's rest? Not the kind that just gets you through the day with barely enough energy. The kind of rest that makes you feel ready to handle everything the day brought and more. You are smiling, energized, and probably very happy. How often do you experience such days? If not often, you're not alone. Recently, most of my mornings have involved tired eyes, fatigue, and a lack of motivation. Something about silencing that alarm clock has become appealing. Too appealing. The truth is, we all get to the point of desiring rest, but don't always know how to get there. Or more accurately, forget. And as we forget, we work ourselves into a tizzy day in and day out. We don't need long to discern that something is wrong, but we also don't feel like we can stop. There's work to be done, chores to complete, responsibilities calling for our attention. Whatever the excuse, without fail, there is always something. That's why I was grateful when a fellow Christian admonished me this week. She told me after another tiring day that I needed to make some changes to my sleep schedule, establish a routine, practice self-control, and other tidbits. She was right. I knew that. And as soon as I followed the advice, things began to change. She didn't tell me anything new, but she reminded me of the things I had forgotten. That's the case for most of us. We know how to get rest. We forget. We prioritize work and activity over rest and recuperation. But as she told me, and as I'm telling you, without rest, you are simply not as productive if you manage to be productive at all. There may be people you want to serve and goals you wish to accomplish, but whatever you do won't be done to the best of your ability. Giving your all is impossible when you've been devoid of rest. You probably know this already, but let me remind you, as I too so often need to hear. Instead of going above and beyond our ability, there's a better, healthier, and holier way to be. Intersecting faith and life. Consider your need for rest. God is infinitely more powerful than you and I, and if you're familiar with Genesis, you know that He rested. The Lord didn't run out of power. He's omnipotent. Instead, His resting revealed that there comes a time when work is complete. For you and I, that means time to appreciate what has been done, plan for new ventures, and of course, rest. When we take a step back, we are better able to see God working through our lives instead of believing we are the ones in total control. Find a routine for rest. If rest is to become regular and recurring in your life, then you need a routine. Make plans for what to do at night when you don't want to go to bed. That's a struggle for me. And also make plans for taking quick breaks from work. Balancing work and rest will improve productivity, not diminish it. Examples include going for a short walk, setting alarms, having a fixed time or times for rest each day. Recognize God's sovereignty. Believe it or not, though you should, God doesn't need you to complete your to-do list. He doesn't need you to take care of every lofty goal or every single person in need. He doesn't need you. He doesn't need me. He's God, and He's sovereign over all. Not only do we forget the need for rest, we forget about God's sovereignty. Even when we think we're in control, He's actually in control. Even when we think that all the things must get done, we're wrong. So take a step back, relax, and let God be God, and trust Him. He indeed calls us to action, but He also calls us to rest. May you remember that today. For further reading and listening, Matthew 11:28-30, Genesis 2:2, He's God by Fred Hammond.
The Crosswalk Devotional is a production of Life Audio and Salem Media. If you liked what you heard today, please take a second to rate and review this podcast in your favorite podcast app so that more listeners like you can find the show. For more faith-filled, inspirational podcasts, visit us at lifeaudio.com.